Hello, my sweet summer children. Jump scare. I am so excited to talk about a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms trailer that was just released and all things a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Let's talk about it. Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, ASOIAF has not been given much to be excited over. Like, it just hasn't been. Like, I needed that spark to get hyped back up, to get psyched back up, to pick the mic back up. Where the fuck is Winds of Winter? This trailer, though, it gave me full body chills. If you know, you know. Sir Duncan the Tall is one of my favorite characters throughout the greater histories. This series is set in the era where all the Targaryen dragons are dead and we're back to focusing on characters, like real, raw characters. It's way after the Dance of Dragons, which House of the Dragon is based on. It's actually closer to the time period of Game of Thrones was set in, but not that close. It's still kind of far. Although there are some characters in Game of Thrones that are alive during this time. This is during the time period after the first Blackfyre rebellions. There's Great Bastards and there's Bloodraven. Yes. Bloodraven. If this series follows the trajectory of the books, then this series will end with the birth of Rhaegar Targaryen and the happenings at Summerhall, like Ghost of High Heart, Jenny of Old Stones with the flowers in her hair. High in the halls of the kings who are gone, Jenny would dance with her ghost. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. This show, season 1, is based on the first book in the Dunk and Egg series, The Hedge Knights. So let's crack into this trailer. Get your popcorn, because I got the juice. If you don't want like spoilers about the characters and stuff, I don't know why you're here. I don't know. So first of all, the trailer opens up with Duncan the Tall. This is our main protagonist, or one of them, of the series. He's a big giant of a man, not a literal giant. Well, actually, I don't know. He's just really tall, because like there are theories that he could actually have giant's blood. So Duncan was a squire to Sir Arlen of Pennytree since he was a little boy. Duncan is actually from Flea Bottom in King's Landing. In this opening shot, Duncan is burying Sir Arlen because he has died, and now Duncan's story starts. He's burying his teacher, his guide, and he's coming into his own. So let's talk about knighterdom in the greatest Westeros, because Night Bros, this one is for you guys. In George's world, the knights are an Andal thing. They are an Andal custom. They came over with the Andals. They are tied to the faith of the Seven. Like in the north, there aren't many knights because the old gods still hold sway beyond the neck. And those in the north that are knights, because knights do exist in the north, were either knighted in the south or they don't keep the old gods, like the Manderleys. The Manderleys don't keep the old gods. Being a knight is like, it's like a social standing in society, in this society. In this society, you have lords and kings and queens and ladies of great houses. And then you also have the small folk. And a knight falls between one of those standings. Like, knights can be self-made. A knight can rise from the lowest birth to hold the highest honors, wearing the white cloak of the Kingsguard. Bran Stark, a High Lord's son, Ned Stark's son, his dream was to be a knight. Most boys in Westeros who aspire to be knights start out as squires. Some started out as pages before they're squires. Like, I literally don't really know the difference. Like, I feel like pages probably just don't fight. If you know, let me know. A squire takes care of everything for the knight, like the little butler. It's the knight's little butler. They clean their armor, they pitch their tent, they start their fire, they cook their meals, they take care of their animals. Like Podrick. Podrick was Brienne's squire. Speaking of Brienne, actually, hold on, put a pin in Brienne. Squires or pages usually start their training from a very young ages, like 6 or 7. Sir Barristan Selmy, Barristan the Bold, was like 7 years old when he became a squire for Sir Menford Swan and entered a tourney as a mystery knight at only 10 years old. And Sir Barristan actually was knighted at 16. Jaime Lannister squired for Lord Sumner Craycall at 11. And when Jaime was 15, he fought against the Kingswood Brotherhood, saving Lord Craycall and like even coming across the Smiling Knight himself. Jaime Lannister was knighted on the field of battle by Sir Arthur Dayne, the Sword of the Morning. Any knight can make a knight. And knights are supposed to uphold the laws, defend the weak, be brave and honorable, be chivalrous, and all of that hoopla. But there's also like levels to the knighterdom. Like some knights have land and shmoney, and some sleep in the bushes and go castle to castle working and serving this lord or the next. So Duncan has been squiring for Sir Arlen. Sir Arlen has raised him. So Sir Arlen of Pennytree, by the way, is a village in the Riverlands. Sir Arlen was a great man. And we know this because he basically raised Dunk. But there's this one line that Dunk says about Arlen in the books, and it made me tear up a little when I first read the book. It says, "The old man had often praised his strength. He had always been generous in his praise. It was all he had to give." Knights, especially hedge knights, didn't really build wealth or have money. All their monies was tied up in their armor, their swords, their horses, and taking care of all that. So this man takes in this young boy and teaches him the ways of a knight, and then leaves him in this world with everything he ever owned suddenly. And this boy, who's now 16 or 17, they don't know for sure. No one really knows how old he is. He needs to navigate himself through this world with only what he's learned from Sir Arlen, and we get to ride along with him. It's a very touching story. And there is no truer knight than Sir Duncan the Tall. So Duncan was knighted by Sir Arlen right before he died. Remember, any knight can make a knight. Duncan says, "He charged me to defend the weak and to protect the innocent." And we saw when Jaime knighted Brienne, the words that are said when a man is knighted: "In the name of the Father, I charge you to be just. In the name of the Mother, the Maiden, the Warrior," blah, blah, blah. But as we have seen through all the years that we have personally spent in Westeros, the knights aren't really all that knightly. They're actually pretty fucking awful. That's the whole thing with Sansa Stark. Like, that's her whole thing, her whole shock when she gets to King's Landing. She's expecting these chivalrous warriors in decorated armor from the stories when the truth of it is much darker and less glamorous. And I feel this story is way more truer to what knights are really like in Westeros. And for every good knight, there are 10 bad ones. There are clips of Duncan getting dressed in ringmail, a helm with an eye slit. He gives knight from the stories. He gives it. And there's this guy that's like, "Are you Baelor Targaryen?" Well, if you're not, get the fuck out of the way. So Baelor Targaryen, better known as Baelor Breakspear, is the hand of the king currently, and he's also the crown prince and heir to the Iron Throne. This sigil in the background, the orange with the white sun, it's House Ashford's sigil, and their words are, "Our sun shines bright." Okay, not the words I would have chose for myself, but okay. All right. So there is a tourney that is to be had in Ashford or at Ashford. And the entire season 1 is the events leading up into that tourney and through that tourney. We get some shots with Duncan Egg. Egg wants Duncan to bring him to Ashford Tourney with him, and he wants to squire for him. So last year I went to Game of Thrones, like this Game of Thrones event, and I got to talk with a person that was working on the series, and she told me like the vibe was dark comedy. And I thought that was perfect, like when she said it. But when I see it in this trailer, I'm like, yes, they really captured the vibe of the book, because these novellas are actually funny. While yes, they are very interesting and there's a high stakes plot that is unfolding, at the heart of the story is character driven. And the main characters, Duncan and Egg, are hilarious. And there's also other characters that are funny as well. And the back and forth between Duncan and Egg in this trailer lets me know we have a winner on our hands. Then we have a shot of Targaryens coming to town, because what is a Game of Thrones prequel without Targaryens? Like, please be for fucking real. And speaking of Targaryens, this bald-headed boy is Daenerys Targaryen's great-grandfather. But Duncan doesn't know this. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. He just thinks he's like some low-born, base-born boy. So he shaved his head to hide his identity. Varys, anyone? Anyone thinking of Varys right now? Now, Egg is the little brother of Aemond Targaryen from Game of Thrones. At this point in the histories, Aemond is at the Citadel forging his maester's chain. Aerion Brightflame, this idiot, will be like the main antagonist. He's the Targaryen that famously drank wildfire, thinking it would like turn him into a dragon. When people talk about Targaryen madness and mad Targaryens, he's right up there with Maegor. We also get a shot of like the puppet show. There is the puppet dragon that's going to cause hella drama, and Tanzelle. Tanzelle is the woman that Dunk has eyes for, and yeah, she's cute. This obnoxious man is the game master. He's like not being helpful as Dunk is trying to enter their tourney as a knight. One of my favorite shots in the trailer is Sir Duncan the Tall's shield. Like, if you know, you know. It's the sunset, the tree, the falling star. But in A Song of Ice and Fire, Brienne sees this shield in her father's armory a long time ago, and then she gets it painted. She gets her shield painted just like it. And there are many theories that Brienne is related to Sir Duncan the Tall. And there are other theories that Sir Duncan the Tall comes from giant's blood. And actually, while he was visiting Winterfell, he fell in love with Old Nan, and Hodor is his son or his grandson. But that's a tale for another day. So the puppet show actually looks to be more of an event. Like I feel like there's going to be two major events in this series, like two major drama things. And I think it's going to be the puppet show and something else I'm going to talk about, but the puppet show is definitely going to be one of them. I feel like it's going to be more of an event than just like a street side show, because we have clips to show it's more of a performance. And this clip looks to be the story of Serwyn of the Mirror Shield. So this tourney is going to go on 4 days and days. The Targaryens are coming. The Baratheons are going to be there. I loved the Laughing Storm in the trailer. Loved him down. But the story is going to focus on Dunk and Egg and the consequences of both of their choices, which ultimately leads to a trial of the seven. And when I saw this shot of all seven standing on their horses, full body chills. So let's talk about a trial by combat and a trial of the seven real quick. So a trial by combat, we're pretty familiar with that, right? We've seen Tyrion loves to use it. He likes to keep it in his back pocket. Trial by combat, trial by combat, trial by combat. He used it in the Vale. Named a champion, Bronn. Bronn fought Lysa's champion. Again, we see Tyrion use it. Oberyn was his champion. And Oberyn fumbled the bag so hard. Like, he couldn't have fumbled the bag worse. Tyrion lost. But anyway, a trial by seven is different. You almost never see it. Literally. Never. A trial by the seven is something that the person that has some allegation against someone can demand. Basically, the gist is there are seven gods in the Andal faith. So if you use seven people, the gods are more likely to like render a verdict. They're more likely to get involved if there's seven people. So whoever's cause is just, the gods will side with. All of this started when the faith militant people, the good fellas in them, challenged Maegor to a trial by seven. So this kind of trial has only happened twice in the histories that we know. And guess what? We get to see the second one. We get to see it at Ashford. And the shots of it in the trailer look like it's going to be legit. Like, it's going to be insane. I cannot wait for it. So the premiere will be January 18th. We got some news about episode counts and run times, and I've heard mixed reactions about this. So there will be 6 episodes, and each episode is going to be about 30 to 35 minutes. Now, listen, I think this is a good thing. I know a lot of people aren't liking this. Like, they want the hour-long episodes. They want 10 episodes. Girl, they're not even giving House of the Dragon 10 episodes. They're not going to do it for Dunk and Egg. But I feel like it's a good thing. I'm glad, because The Hedge Knight, which is book 1 of the series, and I say book, but it's actually like a novella. It's 80 pages, 30,000 words. There aren't gaps to fill. This is a fully told story by George R.R. Martin. I feel like a lot of people didn't like House of the Dragon or whined and complained about it because they didn't like the way that gaps were filled, or they had stuff in their head that they made up that didn't exist. Like, House of the Dragon is an even shorter snippet of history than the Hedge Knight is. Like, the Dance of Dragons is literally like 5 years of conflict, 3 to 5 years of conflict, but George only wrote about 30,000 words on it. So lots of gaps had to be filled, and people cried. They cried. So I like that the showrunner is sticking to the books. He's promised George not to shift focus, and I think 6 30-minute episodes is enough to tell the story. If you listen to like the audiobook of the Hedge Knight, it's literally like 3 hours. It's almost the exact fucking runtime. You have dialogue written by George. I'm just so excited. I'm so excited to see this play out on screen. I've always loved A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. All 3 books that are currently written in the series, I love them. They're like comfort pieces for me. But what do you guys think of this trailer? I also think we should be getting the seasons faster than what we usually get, because there's no dragons to CGI, and also you don't want the child actor to actually outgrow his part. Also, I'm sorry I've been MIA. I have juice coming for you, especially for Halloween. Some scary northern children of the forest creeping through the woods is coming, and I will of course break down every episode of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms when it airs. Okay, my sweet summer children, have a good day.